Hello and welcome to the Greenie Marketplace webinar series. My name is Justin Roth, Greenie Program and Information Systems Analyst. Today's webinar is put together by the Greenie Marketplace Program, a unique certification program that recognizes organizations using certified renewable energy and enables them to demonstrate their environmental commitment through the use of the nationally recognized Greenie logo. Greenie Marketplace is a program of the Center for Resource Solutions. We are excited to introduce for the first time a new program, the Greenie Reprint program. Greenie Reprint allows organizations to minimize their printing footprint by sourcing both their paper and printing through Greenie Marketplace certified printers and paper manufacturers. Organizations that use the program will be granted the ability to use the Greenie logo on select printed materials. With high national recognition, the Greenie logo is a unique way for organizations to communicate their renewable energy commitment to their employees, customers, and stakeholders. Today's new program will be presented by Orrin Cook, manager of the Greenie Marketplace program. I think you'll be impressed by this new opportunity for your business to source your next print job from certified sources. All Who Print is about all of us. We can all participate. Before we get started, I would like to review a few logistical items. Orrin will be presenting for about 40 minutes. At the conclusion of the presentation, we will have a question and answer session that will take us to the full hour. Today's presentation will be recorded, and a link to the slides will be sent following the webinar. I'll also mention the location where you can find the slides and video on our website following our Q&A session. Now, anytime you may type a question into the chat box located to the right of your screen. These questions will then be asked to our presenter during the Q&A session. Any questions not answered during the presentation will be answered shortly following the webinar. With that, I think we'll get started. As I mentioned before, Orrin Cook is the manager of the Greenie Marketplace program, and will be telling us today how we can print with renewable energy by giving us an introduction to the Greenie Marketplace Reprint program. Orrin.
All right, thanks a lot, Justin, and I appreciate everyone taking the time out of their day to join our webinar this morning Pacific Coast time. I hope folks are enjoying sunshine elsewhere in the nation. We've had a bit of cold weather here, but we'll get started. I did want to provide a brief outline. We will get into the program. I should say we will start with an introduction to CRS and Greenie and Greenie Marketplace program, and then we'll provide a brief overview of what it is that Greenie Marketplace represents as a program, how it's going to be used by businesses and by printers and by paper companies, and then a little bit about why Reprint. Why is it a useful program and why is it a useful tool? As Justin mentioned, we'll conclude with a question and answer session. And certainly as this is a new program, I'm sure there'll be lots of questions. Any that we can't get to today, we'll certainly be able to follow up after the webinar and get back to you, or you can certainly get in touch with us. So first, a little bit about our organization, Center for Resource Solutions. CRS is an independent nonprofit. It's located in San Francisco and was started in 1997. Our mission is to mitigate climate change, and that's through building policies and consumer protection mechanisms in renewable energy, in greenhouse gas reductions, and energy efficiency. One important way that we do this, and it's not exclusively what we do, but one important way is through our Greenie suite of programs. Greenie Climate is a certification program for carbon offsets sold to consumers. Greenie Energy, which was also started in 1997, certifies sales of renewable energy and essentially sets the standard for what qualifies as an eligible renewable energy source. And finally, the Greenie Marketplace program certifies purchasers of renewable energy. The new Reprint program, which we're talking about today, falls under Greenie Marketplace. As I mentioned, Greenie Marketplace is a certification program for folks who who are buying renewable energy. That can either be through renewable energy certificates or through utility green pricing programs. Some folks who generate renewable energy can also qualify for the program. And what it does is it sets a leadership standard for companies who are looking to set a renewable energy commitment. And there's a minimum requirement based on the total amount of electricity a business uses to be in the program. Those folks who do join the program are able to license the Greenie logo. They're able to use that logo on their own websites, on their own promotional materials, talking about their own purchase and their own generation of renewable energy. If the company has a product, they're then able to, if they purchase 100% renewable energy to cover the manufacturing, the electricity required to manufacture that product, they can then use the logo on the product itself. And you can see here there's a picture of one of the companies in our program utilizing the Greenie logo on their juice bottle. The program really helps to demonstrate, and it's one of the easiest ways to demonstrate an environmental commitment and the use and the support of the use of renewable energy. We have over 65 companies in the program. We've been around for going on 6 years, and really represent the mark of renewable energy in the certification world. As I mentioned, we have a number of companies, a lot of prominent companies, ones that you would recognize: SC Johnson, Aveda, Becton Dickinson. Office Depot has just joined the program as well. Very much supported by organizations who are in the lead in some ways and representing themselves as leaders in the environmental community and with their sustainability initiatives. So with that said, I'd like to begin to get into the reprint program. And the reprint program, in some ways, was born out of demand for use of the Greenie logo by end users who are doing printing, who are saying, hey, I've got a print job. I'd love to be able to use the Greenie logo on this print job if I know that it's either the paper or the printing was done using renewable energy. So just as a background, we get here and have gotten for the last couple of years, a couple calls a week, really what amounts to tons of phone calls over the last couple of years asking about use of the Greenie logo. And we had offered something similar before, but previously weren't able to kind of exact the proper controls around the logo such that we felt comfortable with how the logo was getting used in the marketplace. As you know, there's been a great proliferation of logos in the last couple of years and certification programs, and so we felt that we really needed to make sure that this program had the proper structure around it in order to maintain the integrity of the logo and have it mean something in the marketplace as we move forward. So what is reprint? Well, put simply, reprint is a renewable energy supply chain certification for the printing and paper industry. Now, that may not seem so simple of a statement to some folks, but in essence, what it is a way for people who are doing printing to know that the paper and the printing was done with 100% renewable electricity. And you may think to yourself, well, in the printing industry, aren't there a lot of other certification programs and supply chain programs? And indeed, that's the case. There are. There's certainly a number of prominent certification programs like SFI and FSC, PEFC, and Ancient Forest Friendly. We are certainly supportive of these types of programs, and they are programs that are mostly centered on forest management. And this is an issue that's, these certifications have come about and have been around for a number of years now, or at least some of them, and have focused on creating creating a mechanism to create incentives for folks to responsibly manage forests. So we're certainly supportive of these organizations, of these certifications, but one of the unique things about our program is that it touches on a different area. And it's an area that is important. If we look at paper and printing industries, we can see some characteristics that would lend support to the argument that this is an important program. For the paper industry, we know that it's a big energy user. In fact, data from the Energy Agency, in the Federal Energy Agency, shows that about 11% of domestic manufacturing, the total amount of energy usage in the domestic manufacturing sector, 11% comes from paper industry. It's the third most energy intensive industry behind oil and coal manufacturing and chemicals manufacturing. So, we know that there's a need here. With the printing industry, we know that the printing industry is a huge, huge industry. $112 billion, nearly 1 million employed by it. And kind of a staggering figure, but 45 trillion pages are printed annually. So combining these two elements, the paper and the printing industry, along with our certification program and our ability to look at renewable energy in depth, understand where quality exists, and for us to play the role of a third-party certifier, we have put together the reprint program.